Sometimes people don't get you, not because you're wrong, not because your heart is impure, but because someone they love stands close to you. And closeness, when mixed with insecurity, can twist perception. It can turn simple concern into suspicion. It can turn sincere care into quiet resentment. It can turn loyalty into jealousy. And slowly, without you even realizing it, a good-hearted person like you becomes painted as the problem in someone else's story, not because you caused harm, but because your presence exposes things others would rather keep hidden. So if you're here right now, I want you to listen closely. This isn't random. There is a reason these words found you, because last night, something shifted around your name. Something that brought a long-ignored truth to the surface, a truth about a third-party influence your person has been trying not to see for a very long time. And when it finally came out, it wasn't gentle, it was emotional, it was uncomfortable, and it explained exactly why things between you and them have felt heavy, tangled, and deeply misunderstood. Dear soul, your person went out last night. Nothing dramatic, no big intentions, just a few drinks, familiar faces, a temporary escape from their thoughts, a moment to breathe without overthinking. They didn't expect anything significant to happen, but God has a way of revealing truth when people least expect it, and what they didn't plan for was your name entering the conversation. At first, everything felt light. Laughter was louder than usual, loosened by alcohol and false confidence. Stories were shared. Someone interrupted someone else, harmless on the surface. And then, like a spark in the dark, your name slipped into the room. It wasn't said with warmth. It wasn't said with respect. One friend said it sharply, carelessly, almost eagerly. They called you a thorn in their side. They said you poke at your person's insecurities, that you remind them of what they're not fixing, what they're avoiding, what they're failing to face. They framed you as trouble, and listen carefully. It wasn't just the words. It was the certainty behind them, the pride, the tone of someone who had been waiting for permission to speak negatively about you, as if saying it out loud would finally make it true. And that's when everything shifted. Your person didn't react loudly. They didn't explode. Instead, they went quiet. That kind of silence that tightens the chest. The kind that tells you a line has been crossed. A silence that carries weight, because behind it lives restrained anger, deep emotion, and a truth that's been buried too long. When that friend called you a thorn, it didn't just insult you. It pierced something tender inside your person, because those words touched a wound they've been hiding, the wound of feeling not enough, the wound of feeling judged, the wound of believing they disappoint people even when they're trying their hardest. So when that friend said you make them feel small, it hit too close to home, because part of your person's private fear has always been this: what if they're right about me? What if I really am failing? What if I really am weak? What if I can't live up to who I'm supposed to be? That friend didn't even realize it, but they pressed the exact nerve that makes your person defensive and guarded. Their hand tightened around the glass, their jaw locked, and then, calmly but firmly, they said, "Don't talk about them like that." The table went quiet. Even the people who weren't paying attention felt the energy change. That friend tried to laugh it off, to dress it up as a joke, but your person didn't smile. They leaned forward and said, "You don't get to call them a thorn when you don't even know what they've done for me. And this is where the truth began to surface. Instead of apologizing, the friend doubled down. They said, "I'm saying it because I care about you." And your person replied, "No, you're saying it because you're bothered." When the friend claimed they were protecting them, your person finally said what they had been holding inside for months. "You're not protecting me. You're trying to control the narrative." In that moment, dear soul, something became painfully clear to your person. This label they placed on you had nothing to do with you being harmful. It had everything to do with you being powerful. Not loud power, not toxic power, but quiet, spiritual power. The kind that sees beneath the surface. The kind that notices when someone is pretending they're okay. The kind that recognizes patterns, wounds, and self-sabotage. You don't let your person hide behind a fake smile. And to the wrong people, that feels threatening. You hold a mirror, and mirrors make insecure people uncomfortable. Because mirrors don't lie. Your person stepped away from the table for a moment. They didn't want conflict, but they also couldn't allow someone to disrespect you. Because deep down, they know the truth. You were never trying to hurt them. You were trying to love them honestly. And yes, that love made them uncomfortable at times. But not because it was wrong, because it touched areas that still needed healing. The Bible reminds us of this truth. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Proverbs 27:6. Some people would rather flatter than heal. Some would rather enable than confront. But God sends certain people into our lives not to soothe our illusions, but to sharpen our growth. When your person returned to the table, calmer now, they spoke with clarity, with emotion, with the exhaustion of someone tired of watching a pure heart be misunderstood. They defended you, not aggressively, but truthfully. They said you weren't a troublemaker. They said you were someone who stood by them when no one else noticed they were struggling. Someone who saw potential even when they doubted themselves. Someone who challenged them not out of control, but out of care. And in saying those words, your person realized something else. They had been allowing outside voices to confuse their perception. They had been letting someone else's insecurity paint you as the villain. But last night, God removed the veil. Jesus said, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." John 8:32. And that truth came suddenly, uncomfortably, but necessarily. If this message resonates with you, pause for a moment. Take a breath. This is not coincidence. Many of you were guided here because your spirit needed confirmation. If you feel led, type 1111 in the comments, not for superstition, but as a declaration that you're ready to receive clarity and peace. Some of you may feel drawn to type 111 or 333 as a way of saying, "I accept divine alignment and protection over my heart." Your story is not over, and you are not the problem they tried to make you believe you were. God sees your intentions. God sees your heart. And what was revealed last night is only the beginning of things being set right. They're a loving presence. They're not a thorn. They are a reminder that something higher is at work, that growth is possible, that comfort is not the same as peace. They remind your person that they can do better, that they should do better, and most importantly, that they are capable of more than the small version of themselves they learned to survive as. And when your person says that out loud, not everyone claps. Some people flinch. Some people feel threatened by reminders of potential, because potential exposes stagnation. That's when the friend muttered, almost casually, "That's exactly what I mean." They make you feel bad, and on the surface, it sounded like concern. But your person shook their head, calm but firm, and said something that shifted the atmosphere. "No, they don't make me feel bad. They make me feel seen." And sometimes being seen is uncomfortable, especially when you've spent your whole life hiding behind jokes, habits, distractions, or people who never asked you to rise. Being seen forces you to confront yourself. It forces you to admit where you're weak, where you've been avoiding responsibility, where you've been settling for less than what God placed inside you. And that discomfort gets mislabeled as harm by people who benefit from you staying the same. Then your person said the sentence that exposed everything. They said, "You don't hate them because they hurt me. You hate them because I listened to them." And in that moment, something changed. The friend's face shifted just for a second. A micro expression, a flicker of resentment, a quiet jealousy that tried to disguise itself as concern, and your person caught it. That's when understanding arrived, not as anger, but as clarity, because the truth about third-party interference is rarely loud. It's subtle. It's disguised as advice. It's wrapped in, "I just want what's best for you." But underneath, it's fear. Fear of losing importance. Fear of losing influence. Fear of being replaced in a space they thought they owned. And right there, your person understood the real truth. This friend wasn't against you because you were toxic. They were against you because you mattered, because your presence had weight, because when your name was mentioned, your person's heart shifted, their posture changed, their energy softened, and the friend couldn't stand it. So your person did what mature love does. They didn't yell. They didn't attack. They told stories. They brought receipts, not to prove you were perfect, but to show your intention. They said, "When I was falling apart, they checked on me. When I was overwhelmed, they calmed me down. When I felt like nobody understood me, they didn't judge me. They listened." They don't make things harder. They make the hard things bearable. And the room grew quiet, because truth has weight. Real truth doesn't need theatrics. It just sits there, undeniable. Then came the part that required humility. Your person admitted something painful. They admitted that sometimes they acted like you were the problem, not because you were, but because it was easier. Easier to let people blame you than to admit they were scared of their own feelings. Easier to let the friend label you than to say out loud, "I care about them more than I'm ready to show." That's how fear operates. It hides behind convenience. It chooses comfort over courage. And the Bible speaks to this when it says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." 2 Timothy 1:7. Yet fear still whispers. Fear still tries to negotiate. Fear still tells people to delay obedience to their own hearts. Real feelings make cowards out of people who are used to control. And your person is battling that. They're battling what they want versus what feels safe. They're battling their heart versus their pride. They're battling what God is calling them into versus what their old patterns find familiar. And last night, your name forced that battle into the light. Then the friend said something that exposed them completely. They said, "I just don't trust them." And your person looked at them and replied quietly, "You don't trust them, or you don't trust me." And the pause that followed said everything. Silence is often the loudest confession, because the truth is, it's not that the friend thinks you're dangerous. It's that they know you're transformative. You're the kind of person who challenges comfort, the kind of person who invites growth, the kind of person who could become permanent. And that threatens people who don't want love to evolve, only loyalty to themselves. Some third parties don't want romance. They want importance. They want to be the first voice your person listens to. They want to be the closest. They want to matter more. And when you appear and your person starts thinking differently, healing differently, choosing differently, those people panic. So they call you a thorn, not because you wound for no reason, but because you pierce illusions, because you pop egos, because you pull truth out of people who prefer comfort over accountability. Proverbs 27:6 says, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." You were never the enemy. You were the faithful wound, the kind that heals deeper than it hurts. Last night, your person finally saw it. They saw how that friend had been quietly planting seeds, little comments, little jokes, subtle warnings, all designed to shift your person away from you without looking like a villain. But the mask slipped, and for the first time, your person didn't ignore it. They asked their friend for one thing: give them a chance. Actually get to know them. Stop judging them through your own insecurities. Stop turning my feelings into a problem. And then your person said something that matters deeply for you. "I'm not going to let anyone disrespect someone who's been good to me." Now listen carefully, dear soul. That doesn't mean everything is suddenly fixed. It doesn't mean fear disappears overnight. But something sacred happened. A line was drawn. A boundary was set. And for the first time in a long time, your person chose you not in public romance, but in private loyalty. And that kind of choice carries weight in the spiritual realm, because God works through boundaries. He works through truth. He works through moments where people finally stop people pleasing and start soul pleasing. Your person is waking up. They're realizing the confusion wasn't created by you. It was created by people who couldn't handle your impact. People who didn't want them to heal. People who needed them small, unsure, dependent, because it made them easier to control. You were never a thorn. You were the medicine that stung. You were the truth that challenged. You were the love that didn't enable dysfunction. And that kind of love will always trigger those who benefit from weakness. So if you've been misunderstood, blamed, judged, or painted as too much, hear this clearly. You are not too much. You are just enough for the right heart. And the wrong people will always call your love dangerous when they can't manipulate it. Take a breath. Let that settle. Because today, you are being asked to claim a new truth, not from ego, but from peace. Say this quietly within yourself: I am valued for the love I bring. I am not a burden. I am a blessing. I do not have to shrink to make insecure people comfortable. I will not carry labels created by someone else's fear. And if this message is reaching you at exactly the right moment, if you feel this resonating in your chest, it's not coincidence. Scripture reminds us, When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Isaiah 60:22. If you feel called, write 1111 or 111 in the comments as a quiet declaration that you're open to truth, protection, and alignment. And if you truly believe this was a divine confirmation, some of you may feel drawn to type 333 as a sign that you're ready to let God remove what no longer serves your growth. If you believe your love is real, if you believe your presence is pure, if you believe last night was the beginning of truth coming into the light, then let this message move beyond you, like the video, so it reaches the next soul who needs it. Stay connected if your heart knows this story isn't over, and if your spirit agrees, comment Amen to seal this affirmation, because what God reveals, no human can undo, and what is built on truth will always outlast what was built on fear.